Hello, everybody. Um, the topic I chose for this video is, well, it was motivated some years ago when I discovered the Chemlin production channel, which specifies science fiction films and television stories as tactical media as part of our awakening. And it got me thinking about all the movies that have influenced me over the years, and particularly movies that may qualify as triggers for awakening. I know there's a lot of subject matter on that coming out now. One movie that was just reflecting on is the one I want to address for this video. I was 21 at the time when I first saw this movie. When I was younger, I would go to movies, particularly the same one over and over again, if they really stimulated me or resonated with me. And how I was able to budget for all those movies is a big mystery to me. But anyway, this one movie I'm referring to is Jacob's Ladder, directed by Adrian Lyne, director of Fatal Attraction. Starred Tim Robbins as a Vietnam vet who is both recovering from a personal tragedy in his family and is struggling with demonic hallucinations, all centered around this big mystery, which is resolved with one of the smartest twist endings I've ever seen in a film. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but of course, it makes sense in reflection of the whole movie. So anyway, the point is, every time I saw this movie, Jacob's Ladder, in the cinema, there was a psychic connection somehow. I could feel it physically in my brain. Something about that movie just reached out and touched my brain in a way that it felt like there was some sort of trigger, some sort of message there, where synchronicities are involved. How I interpreted this message was its message was the movie's message on heaven and hell, and how the way we perceive them, either based on religious teachings or whatever other movies we might have seen, whatever, and how the truth may be astonishingly different. Most recently, with all that's come out now, New Age material and YouTube videos, I have come to understand heaven and hell quite differently, and I'm particularly relieved about that. I'm not religious, even though I was born Catholic. But I am very spiritual, particularly in my recovery from all my own past traumas and turmoils. And so when I think of Jacob's Ladder, how that felt like a trigger for its time, about how I really need to look beyond all the conditionings of that I might have felt burdened with, that may have traumatized me to the point where I was afraid to think for myself or have my own opinions of things. Movies like Jacob's Ladder, science fiction and fantasy, they really make things that science fiction and fantasy has the ability to make to blend the gritty realisms with the magical elements, make the magical elements seem serious in their own right, and the gritty realism seem magical in its own right. Star Trek, Doctor Who, The Twilight Zone were the holy trinity for the 1960s, and to this day still influence just about everything, both science fiction and non-science fiction, so much so that there are movies about the multiverse, like Sliding Doors and Another Earth, that would, even though they're about the multiverse, don't even have to be science fiction. So Jacob's Ladder, and Tim Robbins as Jacob going through that ordeal of how some buried trauma from his days in Vietnam, how it really how it was really blocked off something that he needed to confront and resolve. And it's a happy ending, I'll say that. In fact, it was this. If I remember correctly, the screenplay was written by Bruce Joel Rubin, who wrote the screenplay for Ghost. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that movie qualified as a potential trigger for me. Like the one I certainly felt most profoundly at the time. There were other movies in my childhood, of course, like certainly the two most groundbreaking science fiction movies of all time: 2001: A Space Odyssey and Blade Runner. So yeah, I guess what I want to say for this video is, if any of you out there feel like movies are triggering you, not by coincidence but by synchronicity, if any of you feel that at all, you are not crazy and you are not alone. So I hope this helps in any way. And again, thank you to all my over 220 subscribers and all the people who comment on my YouTube videos. And hope you're all having a great summer. And I wish us all a happy and safe 2019. Thank you all very much. Namaste.